OK，那在我们开始走入那个流程设定之前呢，我们想先说明一下，我们大概今天会提供2个范例，2个会使用到 SFTP 的范例。一个呢，就是说我们在做那个发布设定档的时候，我们基本上要把一些资料就是发送给 FTP，那每一个 public profile 大概都会有需要这样子一个功能。那另外一个范例呢，我们会是说明如何执行一个 piece 的任务，然后我们把一些输入资料输出到其他地方，这样其实就是这2个范例。Yoel, please.
Okay, now we're going to actually set up the FTP server. It's okay that the recording started only now because now we're getting into the actual setting it up. So there's really nothing to set up. Everything already exists. We're going to go to the configuration, bottom left. Then we're going to go to general. Then we have the SFTP definitions. We'll go to the SFTP definitions, and this first one here, right on top, this Ex Libris Secure FTP service, every institution already has it. All of the information that's here is already ready to go. You don't need to do anything. The only thing you need to do is download a private key, because the way to connect to the Secure FTP service is not using a username and password, it's using a private key. I'm going to click to download this private key. Depending on how my browser works, it will either automatically download or I'll need to respond and say that I want to download it. Here I'm just going to say save file. It's called IDRSA, and I'm just saving it in the default place, which is my downloads. Go ahead, Alicia.
那不好意思，我们会从这一段开始进行录影的动作。然后呢，那我们这边可以看到我们的流程呢，其实是到先到那个就是产制的地方，然后找那个 SFTP 定义的栏位的地方。那这个功能呢，其实是每一个 Alma 的用户都会使用得到，都可以使用。所以那大部分的讯息都已经在现在您看到的这个画面上。那我们唯一要注意的一件事情，就是要真正要做的一个动作呢，就是要去下载这个所谓的私人金钥的部分。那要注意的地方就是，我们并不是透过账号密码来进入 SFTP， 反而是用这个个人金钥的部分，所以你们一定要产制一份，然后要下载下来。下载的档案就是刚刚那个 ID 下底线 RSA 的档案。Yoel, please.
Okay, now I'm going to set up a connection to this using an FTP client. I'm going to use FileZilla, but you can use any client you want. So I'm going to set it up here, File Site Manager, and I'm making a new site, and I'll call it Session November 15, just so we have something unique. Session November 15, and I want it to connect now to the Ex Libris Secure FTP service. So the first thing is we're going to start defining here how to do it. So the protocol is going to be SFTP. The host in the port will take directly from Alma. This is the host. And the port is 10022. We're just copying it right from Alma. That's the host, and this is 10022. The logon type is going to be key file. Key file is the file that we downloaded a moment ago. The user will also take from Alma. Here's the user. And the key file is going to be the file that we downloaded. So I'll browse, and I got it in the downloads. And here it is. That's from now. That's my local time, 8:10, 15 November. And I'll say OK, just to save it all. So now I have a new session here, which is going to connect to the Ex Libris Secure FTP service. We called it Session November 15. I'm going to click Connect. Now it's starting to connect. It says connecting using username. That's the username. It's going to have typically a folder for production and a folder for sandbox. Here we are, we're in. So now we've made the connection. One more moment, Alicia. If we want to bring files in and out, for example, I have a file there already on this FTP server. I'm going to copy this file to my PC, to my not FTP server, to my computer. It's going to go to this directory called Session with Alicia. I'm moving it in there. It's just like any other FTP server. I can copy from my PC back and forth to the server. If I come here, this is the same directory. I'll refresh here. And there it is. So now I was able to take the file from the FTP server and bring it to my PC. Go ahead, Alicia.
Can you go back? 这个我稍微导着翻好了，这个是我们现在完成的状况嘛？那其实这个就是看各个图书馆自己有没有这样子所谓 FTP 的这个就是 client 的这样子的一个软体，那可以去使用。那你这边主要要说明就是说，当我们去产制连线如果成功的话，一般来讲会有2个档案夹产生，一个是 production， 一个是 sandbox， 所以这2个档案夹都会产生。Yoel, can you show us the screen that you set up the FTP definition?
Yes.
You still have it?
Yep, that's going to be in the site manager.
Cool, thank you.
Here.
OK, thank you. 那其实刚刚可以看到的动作就是说，当我们确定要产生这样子一个连线的时候呢，我们要先取一个就是档名，那所以它用一个不会重复的档名取名了之后呢，那你其实看到右方的这些相关的资讯呢，其实这边资讯就是拿我们 Alma 画面上面的那个刚刚原本那个 SFTP definition 那边的资讯，直接用 copy paste 进来就好了。那比较注意的就是铺号。记得把它拿到那个就是在这个后面要记得填写这样。那这个的 user 在我们 Alma 上面的部分可能是会写是另外一个名字，但是就是一个 URL 的样子。然后那记得就是说这个 key file 就是我们刚刚下载的那一个私人金钥的那个档案，那记得把它就是在这边就是放进去这样。那你点选 connect 之后呢，它就会开始进行刚刚我们先翻译的那一段的一些动作。Yoel, please.
Okay, I want to show 2 slides in the PowerPoint, and then we'll start using the FTP server. So the files stay on the FTP server for a total of 30 days, then they're automatically deleted. So you also don't have to do any kind of maintenance. And it's a maximum of 4 gigabytes you can put there. If for whatever reason you need more than 4 gigabytes, which usually doesn't happen for an integration profile, speak to us and we'll talk about increasing it. But the maximum is 4 gigabytes and the files stay there for 30 days. Go ahead, Alicia.
那这个 SFTP 的部分呢，要请大家注意的就是说，档案呢，如果在这边放超过30天之后，它就会自动删除。那我们原本预设的这一个最大的这个容量就是4个 gigabyte。那如果您需要更多的话，麻烦您再跟你们这边的 Ex Libris 联络窗口联系，看我们是否能够协助增加这样。Yoel, please.
Okay, so what it means now, if I'm using the Secure FTP service, I can delete all of the FTP connections that I have because I don't need to maintain my own FTP servers. I don't need to make sure they're not getting full and they're getting cleaned up and that the connection works and the correct people have the passwords. Everything is set up and I can get rid of all of my local FTP servers. Let's now actually use it. Why don't you tell them about, before we start using it, Alicia, go ahead, tell them that all of these can then be deleted because the institution can just use the Ex Libris one.
那如果你们现在已经有用自家的那个 FTP 在使用的话，其实未来你们如果转到这个 Ex Libris SFTP， 你们这些都可以删掉了，直接用Ex Libris 提供的就可以了。Yoel, please.
Okay, so now we're going to do the publishing profile and export records to an FTP server. So let's do the example now. So first we'll make a set because we're going to want to export the set. And let's get physical titles with Chinese language somewhere in them. And we'll make a set. Okay, so we've got 89 records. Save query. I'll call this Chinese language. And now we'll do two things. One, we'll export it. Now note, when we look at the SFTP configuration, we have a default subdirectory that it goes to. The subdirectory is called production. If I was on the sandbox environment, I would go to the sandbox. And here, when we connected, you can see it's got a directory production. So everything is going to, by default, go to that directory called production. If we want, we can make an additional directory. Now let's export. We're going back to Alma, admin. This is an example now, example 1 of how to use the Secure FTP service. So we'll go to run a job, and we'll choose export like we saw before. We'll choose to export bibliographic records. We'll choose the set with the Chinese language. Now, I'll put this as a mark file. FTP configuration, we're going to choose Secure FTP Service. Subdirectory path relative to the FTP, I'm going to say, we'll make a directory like that. Next. And submit. So now it's taking all those files and it's going to put them onto the Secure FTP server. Go ahead, Alicia. While it's working, you can talk.
OK， 那我们刚刚有看到，就是说我们要设定一个发布的设定档嘛。那第一个动作，我们要先产制这样的一个资料集，产制这个 set。那我们这边的范例就是找寻10本的书目题名当中有 Chinese language 的这样子的一些书，总共89本。查完之后，记得要按 save 就储存这个检索策略。那接下来呢，我们刚刚也有提到，就是说，其实我们不是说会产生2个目录夹吗？那其实我们都可以在自由新增是没有问题的。那补充一下，就是说，如果你现在是在那个正式环境的那个 production， 那你通常这边捞出来的资料会自动放在那个 production 的一个目录夹。那如果你在 sandbox 就相反的就会放到 sandbox 的那个目录里面。那总之我们做完这个 set 之后呢，它正在执行当中呢，就是说我们接下来要去做执行一个批次作业，执行一个 job。那就是说我们要执行的这 job 是在 export 底下，我们要选择我们要那个汇出的这一个资料集之后呢，接下来要记得注意的地方就是我们今天在讲的就是 SFTP 的服务嘛，所以你要选择的那个方式就是 SFTP Server 要记得选这一个。那接下来就让它执行这一个 job， 看它结果就好了。So, Abdullah translation, is it completed? Not yet. Hold on a second.
No, but we can start the second example though. So it's okay. This is still running. It's still running. So we'll start the second example with the publishing profile and then come back to this when we're done setting up the publishing profile.
Okay. Okay, before that, let me do some logistics first. 那我们再补充一下，我们这个会议呢，刚刚有开始录一些影。那如果你们有任何问题的话，欢迎用那个聊天视窗，中文、英文都可以直接发布问题。那我们会有同事接手协助做翻译。那就先谢谢大家。Yoel, please. Thank you.
Okay, so now we'll set up the publishing profile while this is still running. So that's publishing profile is our second example. So I'm going to resources, publishing publishing profiles. And let's make a brand new one, a general profile. And I'll call this Chinese language publishing profile. And active, we won't even schedule it now. Now we'll choose the set that we just made a moment ago. We'll be patient. There we go. Here's the Chinese language. And we'll keep everything simple, but we'll go FTP. We'll choose the Secure FTP service. We'll make a subdirectory publishing profile Y and A. And we'll leave everything else the same. Let's make this binary. It's usually faster on binary, smaller file. And file name prefix, Y and A, and that's enough for here. The main point that we're showing here, the important part, is we're sending it to the Secure FTP service. All of these we don't need anymore. Next.
So do the translation.
And we won't do anything else.
Never mind. Please continue.
Okay, we'll leave everything as it is. So now we've set up the publishing profile. Before you speak, Alicia, just so we can get things moving, I'm going to run this. Okay, and that was sent. Okay, go ahead, Alicia. Want me to open this up and you can look at it? It can be on the screen. Here we go. Go ahead.
那所以我们这边要做一个那个发布的设定档嘛，其实这边就是照着流程走，应该大家都会很清楚。那只是特别要提醒大家一下，就是说我们在那边用的那个服务的名称，记得还是要选择 Ex Libris SFTP 的 service。那其他的其实未来如果你们常用这个服务的话，其他的应该也都可以不用再使用，会比较方便一点点。然后那现在它就是在我们刚刚都设定好之后，它就是在执行这个后台在执行这个批次作业。Yes, I've done the translation.
Okay, let's go see how our job is doing. I think our job finished because I see a new directory here. Let's go take a look. So admin monitor jobs. And history. The export bibliographic records completed. We sent it to a directory called Yoel Alicia. I'm now here back on the FTP server. Under production, we have a directory Yoel Alicia. This was created right now. Let's go in there. We should see the mark file. Here's the mark file. It was created right now, 15 November. So we successfully sent something from Alma to the Secure SFTP service. I'm going to drag this now into my PC so we can take a look at it. It's connecting, it's moving it to the PC. I'm putting it right here in the directory called Session with Alicia. Connected, starting to download. There it is, it's downloading the file now from the SFTP of Ex Libris to my PC. And it's done. So now if I come here, here's my file. Let's take a look at it. Preview the mark file. I'll do it with Mark Editor, and here's our file. So we successfully sent the file via the export in Alma to the Secure FTP service, and we were able to take the file and then bring it also to our PC. Go ahead, Alicia.
那我们可以刚刚看到，就是说在这个过程当中，它就完成一个工作，就是说我们把我们选定的这个资料集，把它汇出之后呢，那我们把它送到我们这个 SFTP 上面。那它同时这个过程当中也产生了一个新的资料夹。那这档案夹，这资料夹这档案夹里面就有我们刚刚推出来的这个发布的这一笔 这一些 mark 的档案。那这些 mark 的档案呢，我们透过现在的这一个client 的这一个 FTP 的这个服务，你又可以把它拉到自己的 PC， 所以你很快的就可以把一个档案从 Alma 送到 SFTP， 再把SFTP 上面的东西拉到自己的个人电脑上面。那这是整个这样的一个流程。Yoel, please.
Okay, I see also that our publishing job finished. And when we did the publishing job, we sent it to a directory called Y and A, if you recall. So let's go see what's happening there. Took 1 minute and 23 seconds. So now I'm going to go back to the production and refresh here. Refresh. It's connecting again. Now I have the new directory called Publishing Profile Y and A. Now I'm getting the contents of it. And here's the file we just created now. This is the one which we created from the publishing profile, not the export. I'll bring this also to my PC into the directory session with Alicia. And this also, we'll see, comes to the PC. We don't need to open this file. It's enough that we see it's coming to the PC. Here it is, using, starting the download of that file. So if we come here, there it is. We've already got this file. So just like the export bibliographic records, we were also able to do the publishing profile, take the file from the publishing profile, send it to the Secure FTP server, and then bring it wherever else we want. In our case, we brought it to the PC. Go ahead, Alicia.
所以其实我们刚刚其实看到，其实就是另外一个我们做的设定，那它其实也在大概花了1分半左右的时间，也把它送到我们 SFTP 上面。那其实就是想要告诉大家，就是说你说用 export 之外，你用 publish profile 其实也都可以把资料，其实最重要的一个工作就是把资料从 Alma 推送到另外一个地方，也就是 SFTP 的地方，让大家可以取用这样子。Yoel, please.
Okay, that's all I have to show. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we've got the presentation that they can look at. Did you already send them the link to the presentation in your invitation?
No.
Okay. Okay. So we'll send them here the link. Once this comes up, we'll copy the link. How to use a secure FTP service. And I'll send this now inside the chat so everybody's got it. And we'll post this recording as well. Okay, no other questions or comments?
我们基本上这个有一个投影片档案，我们已经放到那个聊天的视窗上面。那后续当然我们跟以往一样，我们会把我们有录到的部分放到一些频道上面 ，YouTube 吧。然后会再寄一个会后的相关讯息给大家。那想问问看大家对于今天这个说明有没有什么一些其他的疑问呢？或是有跟 Alma 有任何相关的疑问，也可以就是提出来，没有问题。I don't see any questions coming. Anyone see any questions?
Okay.
No. So we will.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Alicia. Oh, someone did send a question in. Someone said just the same SFTP. Okay, here's a question that came in. Hold on a minute. Let me get the question. And so everyone can see the question. I won't mention the person who sent it. I never put the person's name there. And here's the question. Boom. I would like to confirm that the SFTP, hold on, is by the institution or by account. Like if we have 10 staff users, that we have 10 STP or one institution. It's per institution. Per institution. That means if everybody is setting up a separate SFTP client, the private key should be kept in a common directory. so that when people configure the FTP client, they can access the key. Because if you recall, let me just make that directory. When I set this up, let me go back to the site manager. When I uploaded this file, it needs to be somewhere in a common directory if several people will be using it, because they'll all have to upload it here. It's one account for the whole institution. Go ahead, Alicia.
Can you move back to the question? OK， 那所以
Yes.
Thank you。所以我们这个 SFTP 的服务呢，基本上是每一个机构应该会是所有的人都会共用的。所以那建议就是说，如果你们在产制那一个金钥的话，那其实记得放在一个大家都可以需要使用的人都可以取得的一个地方，这样。如果有任何的问题，可以发在我们的那个聊天视窗上，然后让全部人都看到。如果你害羞，你也可以直接送给我们的 Jennifer Singh， 她也可以协助中英文的翻译。谢谢大家。Do we have any more questions coming in?
Nope, I don't see any more questions.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so thanks a lot. And let us know some other topics you'd like, and we'll do some more sessions. Have a nice day.
谢谢大家，有其他建议或者是其他主题想要了解的话，请再跟我们联系。谢谢，拜拜。